Boom, right back with episode 13. This is a big one. This is one we tried to get in Dublin a few weeks ago, but Mr. Diva, Paul Hughes, held us all back in the right lane. Great to have you on.
Oh,
How do
thank
you
you.
how do you feel about getting a chat?
That's good. I always like to get my opinions out there, so it's good to have this platform that kind of creates some controversy.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna have to steer you and calm you down at sometimes, I'm sure. So we're gonna dive right in. Most people we go back to the start with you. I want to know right now, like, why is FAI doing what they're doing at this current time? Like, why is FAI the gym that everybody in the country is talking about right now?
Well, it probably goes back to many years ago. When we before we first started, I was exited in mixed martial arts. I was doing a bit of Aussie boxing, a bit of Thai boxing, and I got in a bit of grappling for self-defense reasons. And then I heard that it was a gym up in Nottingham was in the MMA. So I remember getting a DVD. It was UFC 35 or 6 and Rigo Rodriguez or something like that. I was going, this is unbelievable. I would love to do this. But obviously there was no real places in Belfast. So we went, me and my friend Doyle went up on a Saturday morning and went in there like a wee, like kind of porta cabin. All these guys who are all professional fighters at that stage. And it was like gorillas in the mist. Opened the door and it was just mist everywhere. And I was like, what the hell is this? We were the new guys and we were in the, me and Doyle were doing a lot of weight. So we're like meatheads getting in and we got our absolute pan kicked out of us. Ears busted, lips busted. And it was a bit mad at the time. And then I was the Saturday. And then I went back on the Tuesday. And then the guy, Davey Patterson, said, do you want to fight next week? And I went, yeah, no problem. Like that was it. Like I think it was 5 or 6 days notice. I'd never done any sparring, never done anything, just went in, had a fight. It was 2 5s, won the first round handy, like, and then the rules were a bit different then as amateur. You couldn't strike on the ground, where I had mount various times the first round I couldn't punch. So I just got off him and then like 2 5s, like I didn't know I was running 20 minutes thinking this is brilliant. 10 minutes is easy.
Yeah.
And then just had nothing left in the second round. Ended up being a draw. That's a real good guy. And then Brian Tuggle called me a lot. And get back in again. Went on and didn't like the rules. Went straight to pro. One amateur fight, straight to pro. And then when my second fight pro, and that was me, found it hard to get a fight after that. Found it very hard to get my grounds in terms of learning as well. I mean, because I was straight to pro without doing anything. So we built a team up in the EFR, a lot of good high level guys. A lot of guys actually went to the UFC eventually, different promotions. And just how we're talking about how AFI came about. Greg Loughlin was fighting Terry Adam in Liverpool, and I remember sitting down on the seats to watch it, and there was all flyers, the timetables, Team Cabal, and I was like, this is that we need to be doing, like to have 4 or 5 different classes on a day, different coaches doing every different class. This is the way forward if you want to actually get anywhere in this sport. And unfortunately, the coach I was at the time was very short-sighted and didn't see this and didn't want to invest and didn't believe in the sport at the time, or I did. And then I was personal trainer at the time, so I found, well, I'm personal training and I want to do this, why not do both in the same kind of area? So, you know, the other guy, we kind of opened up a gym in Belfast, and for a while we were kind of in conjunction with the gym in Antrim, EFR, what I called, but it wasn't really working out because we were pulling their own way. So we had a clean break and started Fight Academy Ireland. But my agenda was at the very start, once we made enough money to hire coaches, bring in the best coach of every discipline and have everything under the one roof. Have your strength and conditioning, have everything there, your wrestling, your boxing, your Muay Thai, your jiu-jitsu. So I started then headhunting different coaches.
Yeah.
Like so Joe Armstrong for the what I call the Muay Thai, John O'Rourke, he was an Irish national wrestling coach, and Sebastian Torres, the BJJ. And I was obviously fighting at the time, so it suited me as well. And we picked up the loose ends. We were taking the sparring classes and the MMA classes and trying to blend it all in. But I found that the individual coaches were more interested in their own agendas.
Yeah.
And they wanted to pull people out of their wrestling classes to go to wrestle. They wanted to pull out people out of the grappling classes to do BJJ.
Yeah.
And vice versa. And I found that was it was very kind of short-sighted for me to think that these guys cared enough about Fight Academy Ireland than I do.
Yeah.
So ultimately, after a wee while, the few of the coaches left for whatever reasons, and then Pat came on board, and I asked Pat could he come on board. He had just recently retired and from fighting, just taking too much of his life. As you know, Pat, like, it's a all or nothing. Like, Pat's a full-time job, a good job. He makes an awful lot of money on. So like at that time, like, he didn't want to turn professional and
Yeah.
career. At that time, like, there was no money in professional MMA. Getting the UFC was a pipe dream. Making money was a pipe dream. So it was just for the level of sport where he obviously didn't find that risk for reward was worth it, as you could imagine. So me and him then had the same mindset and the same passion for the club, and we weeded out a few maybe wrong, we call it wrong energy, people with the wrong energy within the gym. We weeded out people who are very selfish. We built a good team of coaches up around us, like-minded coaches. We built a good team of fighters up, and then gradually it grew and grew and grew until what it is now. Like, you know yourself, we're just out of a session. It's like everybody is there for everybody.
It's ridiculous. I think right now at the moment it's like everybody's wanting to know what's in FAI and what's the secret ingredient and what, like, it's in a place. Surely I asked you this a few months ago, like maybe you couldn't even have seen it getting to where it is right now, or maybe you could.
I could, yeah. I could, but that's what drove me on. You know what I mean? Like, me and Pat always have this conversation, where we would have been if we had what we're trying to give our guys.
Yeah, of course.
So important. Like, I had 8 different gym memberships,
Yeah.
paying different coaches. I was going to DW at 6 o'clock in the morning. I was driving to Ronaldstown to do a bit of grappling. I was paying a coach to take me boxing or Muay Thai at night. And like, I was doing all this where, like, I mean, like, even like, I was driving home doing a 2-hour class and going to a boxing club and hitting the bag for an hour and getting 3 or 4 2-minute rounds in the pads. It was lucky. Fighting, I'm fighting soon, and like, going, where now I'm such a great place that I can give people my time, my expertise, and then years and years of knowledge in terms of what I've built up, what I've done right, what I've done wrong, what works, what doesn't work. And what I call it, if I hadn't got that confidence of what in the end product, what we're going to develop, then I wouldn't be here now, because I wouldn't have my drive, because I've sacrificed too much. I would just have a gym. Know what I mean? And just normal gym, better weights, maybe a couple of like different classes for key fitters. Because for a long time, MMA was not profitable in any stretch of imagination. So it took me to be mentally strong that there is going to be some gold at the end of the rainbow, and for me and Pat to pursue it and give our times up. Like, I mean, like, we're like Paul, after he won the other week, was talking to Pat about it and going, like, his flatmate at the time. I said, why you get up on a Sunday morning to take Paul Hughes for free at 10 o'clock on a Sunday morning? No, why are you doing it for? Know what I mean? Like, I mean, I've had like what I call my past marriage, and I lost a marriage over me wanting this and people not believing in me. Know what I mean? Getting wedding rings through back at me because I ain't got up to take people in the pads. Know what I mean? Like, what are you doing this? He's not going to reach anything, or you're giving your time up with us and all. And the sacrifice, the personal sacrifice, and like, I don't do it for money or finance. Never. Still, I don't charge anybody of my fighters and my fighters. I invest in them, and what I call it, it's all about the long game for me. And the original question is, do you see where it would be now? I don't see where it is now. I see where it's going to go, not where it is now.
Yeah,
which is we're going to take over. Like, I don't know, I've been saying it for years.
And like, that's the scary thing, because it's already took over, but it's like still taking over. You know what I mean? It's like it's unbelievable. You talk, like, some people talk about a business like a rowing boat, and like, if some people are in the boat and they're rowing the wrong way, so that would be if they're not rowing with you, like that. Like, I kind of had that in Stilf's early days and stuff. And it's a hard one to fix. But how did you mentally like find that at the start when you knew people were there but they maybe shouldn't have been there? Did you find like are you just one of these people that are able to say it how it is and just a spade to spade, or?
No, like, I always shoot from the hip no matter what I say, but that's probably, if you said to me what would be my biggest personal downfall, will be I believe in people, and I want the best for people sometimes more than they want it for themselves. Know what I mean? And I've been burnt an awful lot, which makes me not like kind of harsh now, but I'm definitely very more selective and more resilient on what. Like, if you're like, you're afraid of Catamaran, you're afraid of Catamaran. You're not half in, half out. Because if you want my team, then you have to be what I want, know what I mean, as well, within the club. But like for years, you're saying about like kind of, would I just tell people like, oh, you're pulling your own way, get out? No, like there's many fighters, and a few of them are the highest level. You know, I could have kept them at the club, and now they're fighting for X amount of money on X whatever show. It doesn't matter. It means nothing to me. I would almost, you're selling your soul. And I remember actually saying that, actually one of our Thai coaches at the time, Joe Armstrong, he actually said to me when one of the guys let him down for a private, one of the guys in general says, you want it for this guy more than he wants it for himself.
Yeah.
And it's so true.
It's so hard to fight too. It's like, well, that whole saying was, you know, the horse to water, but you can't make them drink it. Like it's, you know, you can take any horse to water, but doesn't mean they're going to drink it. Like, but it's hard, especially in a coach and like your time led, as you said, like you're extremely loyal to your fighters, but you're still given time, and it's time away from family, kids, you know, all this stuff. Like, and like it's hard. Like it is hard.
Well, that's the thing is with, I always say the most thing I can, the most precious thing I can give you is my time. Know what I mean? So it's my time, because I can never get that back. Money will come, money goes, and all that type of stuff. So whenever anyone mentions money, it's that if you've got my time, and then the worst thing to do is abuse it. So if you don't show up, or you let me down, or you don't, if I feel you don't value it, then that's gone, because that's the only, the most precious I can give you is my time.
Yeah, it's funny that, because it's like, it's not like paying for a private where if you missed it, you'd, oh well, I still paid you anyway, and that's like, that's not even exchangeable. So like if you let you down for the time, it's even worse, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, that's
so,
100%.
Time's so highly valued.
Yeah, and sometimes that is it. Like it's like a PT session, like for talking your, I sent you out money anyway, sure didn't turn up at it. It's kind of hollow.
Yeah.
But in MMA, and like maybe I've got a session prepared in my head, especially in the fighter, I would take the professionals and the high level guys, and it's like almost most of them have an agenda behind the session, something coming up or something in the pipeline or something we're working on. So for layman's to cancel for not a legitimate reason, like they would do it once or twice and then they'll never go back again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and do they ever know?
Yeah, they know why, because you know what I mean. There's like people travel the whole way up and from Dublin and from Derry and whatever else to do their classes and the privates and all, and they know that like it's not acceptable. Like the Pat's the same, me the exact same. It's like it's one thing they can't, because like we're laughing, like we're talking about yesterday about what I want for Christmas and all. It's, well, we'll go buy ourselves anything so hard. It must be really hard to get, you know what I mean? Because I mean, we're both individuals and we do well in life. So my partner said, what do you want for Christmas? And I went, well, nothing, because we want it, I would have it. What I called, so it's not, I'd always invest in experiences or whatever else. So like normally, I mean, the same as my kids, I would always give them experiences. So it is, know what I mean? So
material.
Yeah, so it's so important. So money, I think, loses value and such whenever you have a personal aspect to it.
Yeah, golden. On the financial part then, what's the gauge for success? You know, you're obviously running a business. A business isn't just for the love and passion, although sometimes it is. There obviously has to be a business side of it too, but how do you gauge the success of running a business?
Well, obviously, like we're open about 15 years this year, so at the start, it's mad. I think you kind of got to go with the trend, you know what I mean, as well, that they keep yourself afloat. Again, what I call, we first started, the MMA was busy at the start, because it was like, oh, right, the MMA club in Belfast, first one there, and you get a lot of the haters, you know what I mean, come to that club too, but the classes were pretty busy, and the money was coming in, and we just reinvested all that money. We never seen it. I on the door and worked, I run a couple of doors, and have my own personal during the day, so all the money that the classes made were reinvested to better the facilities, getting the equipment and all that stuff for many years. And then it quietened down awful lot, and the MMA classes weren't that busy. They were just about maybe covering the coaches' costs. But the fitness classes were phenomenal. I mean, they were phenomenal. We were going like 50, 60, 2 or 3 times a day in my classes, and it was doing really well. So obviously we bought more gym equipment to suit that type of stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and then I introduced something that was like, now it's common trait. Everybody's doing it. It's food, like having prepared food. Like the first one I ever had was actually a place in Ballymena. It was £55 or something for meals that were terrible. And me and my friend Jim went, well, why don't we make the meals? He's a chef, and then we'll do it in conjunction with the gym, and basically kind of go, right, well, we called it a Super Six. It was like, you have your food 5 days a week, and we'll give you whatever else. So you look after your own breakfast, we'll give you your options, and then we'll give you your lunch and dinners 5 days a week. and we'll give you your training sessions, we'll weigh you 3 times a week, and all that stuff, and we'll have fails on everybody before anyone ever done it. And it was brilliant, doing really fantastically successful. And then that fizzled out. And then the circuits kind of picked up a wee bit again, and then now the MMA has. So you kind of go with a curve, you know what I mean? We changed the gym around the suit to get more of the MMA, because at the end of the day, you got to keep the what I call the roof over your head and the wheels from your door, so you got to pay the bills. If we're 6 people in a class in the MMA, then I'll be pushing more the fitness side, unfortunately, because I want to keep the MMA afloat. That's my passion. But it's mad, like, you know, you're saying that I never see even the MMA doing this well. You never know, like, you hope, you dream that people might buy into what you bought into, but you can never rely on it. So I found that throughout the years, being like kind of resilient and moving with the times helps you sustain a good business sense in terms of where you need to go, but ultimately never really sell your soul. You know what I mean? What you've got there, like, never lose your own traits. Like, for many years I was asked to sell like Juice Plus and crap like that, and I was going, no, it's a load of crap. I want people to realise that I have their best interest at heart. You know what I mean? If you were in my gym and you lost your job, and I bumped into you in 2 weeks and going, I haven't been in the gym, I'm going, don't worry about it, come to the gym.
100%.
And that's just the way I am.
Yeah.
I have fighters now who travel and they're struggling for money, and I go, don't pay the gym membership. I don't care. Oh, it's not about that. I'd rather see you and do well, be mentally. That for me is more important, that I'm helping people in their life. And I think it's matter if you're not like kind of money oriented, you become more successful. Well, if you're money oriented, people gradually find out, and then that's where you start getting the conveyor belt. You start having to always advertise, always do this, always do that.
That rat wheel all the time.
Yeah. Where I think that I've got guys who are from day that, and like you know, in the gym, like yourself, one of the top fighters in Europe, that like you mean so much to us. But also there's guys who have never competed, have probably no interest ever in competing or fighting or doing anything, but their personality is just as important in the gym. And to make them feel like they're as special as you is where I feel that FAI really raises above everyone else.
Yeah, and it's true. Like, there's no, you know, me and Paul and Paddy and all, we don't train in a certain area, and like, it's everyone with everyone. You know what I mean? It's how it should be. Like, it's an extremely inclusive thing. I put a post up on Instagram the other day and said about how I believe, like, the fitness industry, not that I'm that person, but I believe like a lot of people are looking at like personal clients as literally just objective and not people to people.
Yes.
Which I think you do very well. Like, and as you just said, if someone was struggling at home or they're traveling up the country but they're maybe struggling financially, then you just give them that not give them the membership, but like, you reward their loyalty too, you know. And it's once people lose the thing that they're actually people, the whole thing's fucked. Yeah. You know, and that kind of brings me back on to our next point. What do you think about all these like characters on like Instagram and stuff telling people how to do stuff, like running businesses and all? Like, do you not think the whole industry is like kind of fake?
Yeah. Well,
or maybe you don't see much of it.
It actually is funny, because you watch it and there's so much thing you want to say the jokes, but none of them actually are my friends. Yeah. And I think it's just, to me, that it's like almost like in the kind of like one of the main guys within the industry in Europe. Is a very good friend of mine, and he's very good at it. He's very successful, and I think he actually is very good himself. But I think there's too much people in trying to be him. Yeah. And that's what I hate. The people try and be somebody else. If you're original, then you should just be that. You know what I mean? Like, you be yourself and whatever else, and then if it's successful, then it is. But don't be. I think you're almost selling yourself as a person if you're trying to replicate another individual. Like, I mean, I see a guy, and he's a good friend. I have a talk pretty often with him and all, and always on Facebook or whatever else, and kind of message and whatever else. And he does really well for himself. But then I see people who maybe follow him or went to his seminars or whatever else, and it's like, literally, if you close your eyes, they're almost trying to regurgitate everything he said. They're not even thinking from themselves. And it's like, Mom, get a life here. Like, get a life and be yourself. You know what I mean? You don't always have to be like PC or whatever else. It's just make yourself different. Be yourself. You know what I mean? Like an individual, and you'll attract your own custom. You know what I mean? So
it's being authentic too, isn't it? Like, you know, people are following scripts and, you know, how to do this and how to do that. Whereas like, there's nothing authentic to it. Like, you know, you have to be real. Like, how do you go to the way I look at it is like, how do you run a business and go to bed at night knowing that you're happy if you're like following this fake script, like how to do everything in your life?
Yeah.
So that's how I kind of see it. But like,
A lot of lemons are like they're saying they're like the me that I'm talking about being authentic, and I think a lot of lemons who are saying these scripts should be authentic themselves. You know what I mean? They're felt. They should be on going, listen, well, here, listen, you need to be doing this and training this and eating this, and then you're going like, oh no, but you've been fucking abusing steroids for 10 years, and like you're making somebody feel bad about themselves.
correct, yeah.
Because they're not your size or they're not pressing your weight you're lifting, but you're withholding a real key dynamic of ingredient of why you're successful. You know what I mean? And I think that's very important. That like, and I would have more respect for somebody going, listen, here, I do this and I have trained 10 years, because it still takes an awful lot of hard work. But like, level up with people. Don't be making Joe Smith in the corner feel like crap because he had a pizza on a Saturday night, where real is you're fucking probably putting 4 mil of fucking training me, and know what I mean? And you're not telling him that, but you're making him feel bad about himself.
Totally, yeah. But not, yeah, they know so much, they know fuck all. Like, it's that kind of thing, isn't it? It's like, let's fabricate the whole world that we know so much. You're around a lot of successful kind of people, like from training and stuff, like high level fighters and stuff. Like, what's the traits? Like, how do you spot someone in the early days of like when they have something that you like? Like, what type of things would that be? Like, and we're talking people not like who come in, like not like someone that's well rounded, but like someone that like day one, like what's the early signs you look for in someone that's going to be it?
I would say, I'd be trying to get the right word for it. It's like almost that they're always willing to learn. You know what I mean? They feel that every day is a school day. Yeah. No matter what session they're in, that they could take something from it no matter what. If they're showing 10 things, the one thing may be good. You know what I mean? And having that like kind of attitude is, I can get something there, no matter what. Yeah. And obviously then just turn it up. So like I've been around from the early days, a lot of, at the time, was classed as high-level fighters, and I found that their traits were, well, I don't need to learn it. I'm not going to some such as class because I'm never going to use it, or I got type of attitude where they're negative. Like, even I learned myself, I was doing the pods myself today. I'd be constantly trying to self-develop myself. I would do grapple and learn it. I love learning. The minute you think that you know it, then you're already lost. You know what I mean? You're already lost. I think the best trait to be hungry and wanting to learn. That's it, just wanting to learn. You said the best one earlier, like people learn to be a fighter first. Like we were literally talking about it earlier, and you said like they became a fighter before they became a martial artist. Like, and you know, like unbelievable. Like, it's so true. Like, because like almost like how do you even suggest what that quote is? Do you know what I mean? It's like they were almost thrown into it so much that they didn't even have the time to learn what they were doing. So they were a fighter before a martial artist. I thought that was great. Like, yeah, I like, it's so true. Like, and it's really so true. And even like when you're talking about like kind of high level fighters and like all up and down, even like any part of the world, but they've actually got them in and told them, right, sit down on the ground and show this guy who's never done that before how to do an armbar or something really basic, and break it down in the terminology they can understand and process. And that's when you realise people have skipped steps. Yeah. Know what I mean? And they've winged it so much, and they find themselves at a high level, but they haven't actually covered the fundamentals, and they haven't actually appreciated the sport. And that works in everything. Like, we were doing a striking session, and I just doing agility ladders and moving left, moving right, moving forward, moving back. And 90% of people, if you go down a gym, most people go, "What's beneath me?" I fight in the UFC, or I fight in Bellator, I fight in whatever organisation. They go, "Why do I need to move left? Or why do I need to move right? I want to hit pads, or I want to do spinning elbows and jumping." Like, they have all the good stuff, the fun stuff, but they skip over certain steps, and it's not until it's exposed, and then you feel a level uncomfortable. And you start getting uncomfortable. You go, "Wait, show me an armbar. Show me 3 setups to an armbar, or show me 3 defenses to parry a jab." And they go, "I don't know." Lost, yeah. You know, you've skipped steps, so you haven't processed it, so you haven't digested it. So, you know, I mean, sooner or later it'll catch up with you. Yeah, that will get exposed. Like, and you know, as you know, we're on a bit of a journey at the minute of like rebuilding foundations. Like, and it's not that I never thought I didn't, not that I ever thought I did have them, but like, you don't know what you don't know until you know it. Yeah.
Like, it's true, isn't it?
Well, the thing is that like you came probably from like a background that I would have came from with the EAFR. It was like literally if you had like a ball to fight, and skipping on a Tuesday, you're fighting this week in England. They were fighting, I don't know, one guy over there and changing opponents, and then that's okay.
It didn't
I'll go
matter.
and fight.
Yeah.
I'll go and fight. Like, you know what I mean? So like you weren't really taught and brought through the stages and processed. And again, we're talking about Paul and whatever. He's the exact same. Came out, was really eager to fight, but his skill set wasn't at a certain level and needed to be at a time. And then again, look at like yourself, maybe you took the wrong fights the wrong time, the wrong opponents, maybe you mismanaged, and people had you fighting just for the sake of fighting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sometimes you're your own worst enemy because you're so ballsy. You know what I mean? Like, you have to rebuild yourself and build people up. I had like a year ago, like Greg Lappner, I think he fought 6 times in 8 weeks, and he won 4 of them. And like if you look back then, it was M16 Butler. It was I think it was Andre Winner who came second in the Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah.
It was he beat the guy who won the Ultimate Fighter.
Jonathan
John Brookmans in Cage Warriors, Florida. And these high level guys,
Yeah,
but
crazy.
like his record, to be looking at him, he's like 17 and 18 now. He's retired now. Like, but if he was managed probably and had training camps and he was processed probably, how good he could have been.
Yeah,
with
crazy.
the mindset where he was unbreakable. If people, so many people are their worst enemies, just going to fight anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, part of my hardest job is to fight against that and go, no, he's not the right guy for you. We want to build your career, build you up that I never had. Let you grow in stature, and then as the fences come, you jump them. You know what I mean? Don't try and jump them all at once.
You said not the career you had. Do you think that makes you so good at that role? Because like you're almost trying, like you're doing it again for them, but also for yourself. Like you're going to be beside them. So like, do you think that makes that decision so much more important than if you say you done all these opportunities you're talking about, and able to turn down for people, or like advise them not to do it? Like, do you think it makes it easier because it maybe didn't line up for you like that way? Does that make sense?
Yes. Well, obviously when we moved our club to Belfast, and I had like, individual coaches helping me, but I was my own main coach. I was managing my career. And what I found, like, kind of what happened was I was making hard decisions based on where I was at that point in time in my life. You know what I mean? And it was wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I had no one saying to me, no, you're not training hard enough, or you're fighting the wrong weight class, and you're doing this, or you're doing that, or you're carrying an injury. And it's regrets like that I really, when I go back and think about it, it really derailed me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, one time I fought in England with a broken left hand. Like, I was broke, I couldn't even hit a pad, couldn't spar. And I went over, and my coach at the time didn't give any personal care about me. Went in and fought a guy, Kev Axford, who was number 1 or 2 in the UK at the time. You know what I mean? And it was a hard fight, got my cheekbone broke, doing well in the fight, got the hang and all, but I had no left hand. You know what I mean? I couldn't train the whole fight camp.
Yeah.
But I was going over to Liverpool in the hands 10 to fight one of these guys who's one of their main guys. And I was like, oh, this is...
What was your attitude then going over? Like...
Just what like, a bit like probably like Greg Lappner was. He was like, let's go in.
This is what we do. Like,
yeah,
you probably don't know any
like,
different.
500 quid, like, it's not going to change your life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was just going over for the fun of fighting. But the reality is that, like, at the end of the day, you're going to fight and you're going to get hurt. You know what I mean? Even I carry out a little bit numbness the side of my face when I got a crack on the knee in the first round. And on that card, like, I think it was 4 or 5 UFC fighters, Stefan Struve, like Paul Sass, all them boys, Terry Adams, it was a good high level card. What I hadn't got that individual care where people care about me. They sometimes tell me, no, you're out, or it's not the right thing to do now. You know what I mean? And manage me, I manage myself. Time I fought down in Dublin, Carol Penrith in the main event down in Dublin, I had 2 broken ribs for 6 weeks and I couldn't grapple. The only probably person knows about it would be Pat personally, because he was my main training partner. And a week out, I tried to grapple, and he literally lay on top of me, and I went, get off, I can't breathe, because my ribs were that sore. Yeah. But I remember the time I was moved from the co-main to the main event. I was in hospital with an ECG machine on my chest, and I had a punctured lung. And I was doing a dash, and Joe Clark had my leg, and I kicked my leg back, and I heard a crack, like pencils crack. And I knew straight away, and then I went to hospital, and then John Ferguson, Master even Cage contender, saying, listen, John Redmond's there to find Chris Fields for the main event, you're now main event. So I felt a level of pressure not to pull it, and I went, it'll go away. and then my weight wasn't coming down, and I wasn't getting training, I couldn't spar, couldn't hit a pad, couldn't grapple, couldn't do anything. I was just running and getting on a spin bike, and in my head was going, I'm just going to go in and I'll be all right. I'm just going to go and knock this guy out. That was my attitude. I was going, oh, card and would last that long. And then there was no coach to tell me, mate, you can't even.
Yeah.
Can't do anything.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
You were the man making the decisions.
And at that time in my life, that I was really struggling financially.
Yeah.
So I needed the money. So I was like, right, hold on, it's going to pay my bill for the next couple of months.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there was a lot of things forcing me in it. And then all of a sudden, it's like, I sold no tickets because in my head I was going to go out and I had to pull out. And then the last week, I could sold like 200 or 300 tickets for the last week.
Sure.
And I went in, fuck it's on me. I'm going to go for it, fella.
Yeah.
And then what I called during the fight, first takedown, ribs went. And then I was like, oh, and up the whole ball. And I remember
You felt it there.
straight away, and I went, I made a wrong decision. What have I done? But then you're in the heat of battle in the middle of Dublin, and a cauldron of people who want you to beat. So you kind of roll with it, and then certain aspects of it, oh, I'm in this fight and all, and it was a good fight, but it was just certain things I was very restricted to. And I remember this is where really hit him, was against the cage, and Cal was trying to take me down this side, and he popped in here, and then I went for a bread basket guillotine choke, and I felt it was on a wee bit, and I was like, I feel this, and I just moved his hand, and I was like, oh, and I got tucked there, and I went, oh no, and not getting back up again. Then that was it. And then I remember after, I had the stoppies in the third round. It was no fitness issues, no nothing issues. It was just I couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
And still to this day, it really haunts me because I know that wasn't me. But every time you say to somebody, because I tell people this day, nobody gives a flying fuck. Nobody cares. You could say, mate, I had the flu that week of a fight. My left leg was hanging off.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. They don't think I'm making excuses. They think that was you, and I would talk about this as well yourself, because nobody cares. They'll just think you're not good enough.
Totally. Like 100%. And we had that conversation. Like, I fought Tim Burnett in Belfast. I was sick. Nobody cared. I sold 300 tickets. Had to turn up. How could I not turn up? I lost, and you think anybody cared? Nope. No.
No matter what was going on in your life, they're going to get the percentage of individuals that go, that's a load of balls.
Totally, like 100%. And like, even to the point where, like, I was lucky enough that he rematched me and I got it back. But like, if he didn't, I would be sitting in the same. Like, that would eat me forever. But what do? You live with it. Like,
and I got, after the fight, I was telling most people, I'm a river fuck. It was actually embarrassing to me. So I just stopped going like, I just could be it. I just accepted it then because I don't want to feel like every time I'm going to tell people how it went or how the fight went, that I'm making excuses, because it's not my opponent. The opponent at the highest level, like, you know what I mean? They went on the big cage warriors champion and Brennan in the UFC, and a great individual, like a real so much time for a cat, like, but to me, I let myself down just because I hadn't got hopefully what I'm trying to do now with our fight team is that personal care and making decisions for people, not for their own interests, for their best interests.
Yeah. How do you stop? So let's say a young 18-year-old, loads of talent, loads of potential, but they're like that hard in the approach, kind of like you had, maybe like I had, like where they want to go through the injuries anyway, like, and they might do well. Like, I'm sure you have won fights when you're injured, like whoever has a perfect scenario, and you know they could even do it, but like, when's the time to step in? Like, what's your gauge of being like, this is okay, but that's not, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well,
case by case, just conversations.
Well, it depends on what level. Obviously, the mistakes too, like, you know what I mean? Mistakes too. Whenever, obviously, like, so I don't think probably Paul's talked too much about it. Like, when he fought Jordan the second time, I felt that he felt a level of pressure on a different scale, because when he hurt himself, he hurt his neck really bad. The previous one, he sold and wrote tickets. You know, my partner and her family were going over to support him as well, as many others from Northern Ireland were going to support Paul in London, and he couldn't move his neck. And he had to pull out. He got a lot of grief over it. Got a lot of abuse online just because he's a public image. And what I called, and then when what happened the next fight, obviously the rematch, the whole build up again and everything, and the pressure was on. People bought their tickets again, and it was such a big event. The Cage Warriors' biggest ever fight, and he had a real bad, I think it was a chest infection or some type of thing where he was on antibiotics for like 10 days, and he could not physically train, and then he wasn't eating, and he was trying to keep the build his strength back up, and he was trying to cut weight, so there was so much things happening. And I remember we had a cage conflict that week, and I was taking him on the pads, and he was really, really late, and it was me, him and Scott Harvey, and we'd done a wee session, and I went, right, I said, you're fighting in 7 days and you haven't trained in 2 weeks. And I knew the level of pressure was building on him, where he felt that he couldn't pull out under whatever circumstance.
Yeah.
And I gave them that story. I went, Paul, nobody cares. If you go in here and you're not yourself, nobody's going to give a flying rat's ass what your excuse is, because it'll just fall on deaf ears. If you pull out, I know it's going to be hard, then it has to be for the right decision. And you just can't just play through it because you want to not lose your ego almost. So we penciled in 3 training sessions. So we done that on the Friday after the weigh-ins. We done that session, and then on the Saturday he did a bit of sprints to see what his fitness was at. On the Sunday he done what was saying, like, this is the acid test. We're going to do a hard sparring session. Like, this is like, I never have a sparring test that 10 days of a fight. I mean, 5 days it. You have to be sparring. I want to see your leg, and he felt good. And then we done the exercise on the Monday, and we were good to go. But I felt that them 2 sessions, the Sunday and the Monday, that I made, I had to have to step in and rescue him from himself. Like,
Rescue him from himself. How much pressure do you feel in them roles? I guess that's a big pressure for you.
Yeah,
well.
Of course, yeah. But it's pressure that comes with the job. You know what I mean, in terms of that type of stuff. If I don't do that, then I'm letting myself down and I'm letting him down. So to me, he could hate me, he could follow me, he could move clubs, but at least I know that I done it for the right reasons. Know what I mean?
Yeah, that's all you can do.
Know what I mean? And we've talked about this before, people accepting fights to get their resume tags, accepting fights to get the money. And it's not, it shouldn't be on the top of your agenda as a coach. It should be who's in front of that individual. It doesn't matter who he's fighting or what money's for him. Is that the right fight for that individual? Know what I mean? So to me, if Paul wasn't in the right physical and mental state, then I was going to have that discussion. And I would know if he would have came through and I thought he was ready, I would have said, no, you're not fighting. You're not fighting, and that's it. And whatever would have came after that, then I would have dealt with it, but I would have walked with my head held high.
Yeah, and it's like, you have to know when you like put your head down at night that you made the best decision for the right reason. Where, like, if he went out that week, so let's say he was in a way worse condition and something happened in the fight, he lost the fight, it'd be a way worse scenario. Like, do you mean you definitely be a wanker forever? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, if you made that decision and you kind of knew yourself.
Yeah, I see coaches take fights for individuals for different reasons. Know what I mean? A lot of times, most of the time, it's financial reasons. Know what I mean? But you just know, like, it's not the right fight for that guy. He shouldn't be on that show. And sometimes it's the shows are the ones manipulating the position because they know what they're dangling the card and going, you want to fight on this show? It's on TV. It's on UFC Fight Pass.
Yeah, shows know the position they're into. Like, you know, and like, people won't want to say it, but shows all. This guy will do this guy, but they just have to get the fight made.
Oh,
like,
100%.
Let's be honest about that one.
Yeah,
like,
and that's it. The tick boxes, and they know, like, I'm a promoter, like, and that's one thing that Ian rules in my level as a promoter too. Like, and I try not to do that. Like, we had 19 guys fight last week, and we had 11 wins and 8 losses. Know what I mean? So, like, if you look at our show, the amount of fighters we produce, the level we're at, obviously we're always going to do probably a better, but everyone gets a fair crack in the whip.
Of course.
It's not like different shows within Ireland where you know that they're all mismatches and they're going to go, because nobody have, and especially at amateur levels, that's no good for anybody. They're not learning about themselves, not getting tested. So when I did change that over, and as a promoter, I try to bring that in where if we fight in that show, we're going to have a real good night. It's going to be a real atmosphere in it, and it's going to be a good level scrap. So that's what I wanted. I thought the Irish scene on a lower level was missing that. Know what I mean? I missed that kind of fairness. Basically, that's what you want, really, about fairness.
And that's funny. It's like some of them shows, like, which, let's be honest, are pure cowboys. Like, but like, you'll never see the big clubs compete at them. Why? Because it's not like how that doesn't run the narrative they need for their show. Like, the shows, like, it's people running shows for the guys to win. Like, it's just pointless.
Yeah.
Like, and as you said, Cage Conflict, it's not like that. Like, it's a good show. Like,
and I think also people also has and that one fact, because we're so successful with that many fighters on the mats and hanging out, but everyone thinks everyone is Rhys McKee, everyone thinks Paul Hughes, and you're going to the other clubs and going like, listen, this guy's done 6 months here. He is a fucking beginner. He may as well be at any club in any gym in the world. Like, you know what I mean? He can only learn a certain amount of stuff within 6 months, and then they go, no, he's fight a Catamaran, mate, nah. nearly going, mate, more my head here.
It's crazy. Like we had your guys on the Fight Project, and we're talking like beginner level fighting, like boxing, free 2 minute rounds, big gloves, like the best circumstances for a beginner to compete. And we were telling people, there's this guy trained in the FAI, he's trained for 4 months. Their guy's trained a year. No, no way. No way. How can you say no way? What's the no way based on?
Yeah, man.
Like, I understand no, but to say no way against a guy that's trained 9 months less, like, it's
And
crazy.
that's and we're having that problem now with an Irish MMA.
I guess that's a real problem.
Yeah,
Like,
because we I put a post up there about like us trying to help all our shows, and we're really helping as best we can, because we have the footfall, we have the guys who want to fight, but ultimately you have to have a dance partner. Like we have give like there's like the morning chaos, and we'll have Fit to Fight, and then there's IUR and all these different shows.
Yeah.
And we must have given them all 15 names each, right? And out of all of them, they're getting 2 or 3 matches. Know what I mean? And then it falls on me. Sometimes I'm taking harder fights for our guys
to get them
to
fights.
So I'm going to myself, this guy's maybe he's fought 6 times less than this guy, or he's only started, or he's not at that level yet. But I can't get any fights from him. Know what I mean? So like Daggy Magley, I think he's 16 names or something, but he's got 3 or 4 matches for IUR. So we're now trying to get guys fights in England.
Yeah.
Because it's that the kind of important to get young competitors competition.
Yeah.
So actually, me and Pat were talking about the last few weeks, and then we started to implement this fucking thing, and I'm sick of the way this is all going, that we're getting blackballed. People won't fight us for whatever reason, and we're trying to create the fair fights. Obviously, there's shows, not just our show, all the shows. They won't fight on any show. And what it calls, so we've now created a group chat with me, Pat, and now with a lot of the big coaches within the UK and a lot of the big promotions within the UK, and we're tying all in, going, right, let's all work together here, and we'll help you all, and then the shows help each other, and the coaches and the teams spread your fighters out, and we'll bring fighters to England, Wales, wherever, Scotland, and then vice versa, we'll all help each other out. So we've got maybe a list of 15, 20 names on it, like of Richard Shore in Wales, with Mike Grundy, of all, like, there's loads of different people involved in this, you know what I mean, different promoters, and Adam Tay and all FCC and all these different big shows trying to collaborate, because we find that it's something that needs addressed within the scene, because people don't want to get lost in the record. I feel like they think it's a bit like boxing, they get lost and then you're back to doing trolleys now.
Yeah, it's crazy, and it's crazy because that'll actually challenge your own trait of you saying taking the right fights for the right people at the right time. Where, like, say you're putting in a young 17-year-old kid or an 18-year-old kid, and it's maybe not the right fight, but it's the only fight they can get. Well, now you have to look at yourself and be like, well, is this right? Is it wrong? On so many levels, like, that's hard.
Yeah, well, you balance it up, so you look and see, as long as they're not, again, amateur level, you know what I mean? As long as they're going to learn and they're going to give a good account for us, as long as they're going to be competitive, then that's as much as you can really ask for at amateur level. You know what I mean? They're not going to, as long as they're not going to go out there and be really like mismatched, you know what I mean? Because it's the end of the day, it really hurt. And at the end of the day, like, especially you're saying young kids, you're accountable to their mothers and fathers and their girlfriends or whatever else. So, like, I don't want to be standing there going, why was my son put in against that guy who's been doing this 10 years and now he's in hospital with concussion and things?
Totally. Like,
because it's on me, like, it's on me.
Yeah, that's a hard one. How corrupt do you think MMA is in Ireland? Like, I know boxing is like on a different level with judging and all that carry on, but like, I feel like with amateur MMA and even MMA in the scene, like, it's still corrupt too, with like matchmaking stuff and like opportunities presented to certain fighters and stuff. Like, how again to end it in a conflicting way? Like, do you think MMA is like corrupt, or do you think it's leveling itself out now?
I think it's hard,
fine?
obviously. I think a lot of the bigger shows are kind of maybe cashing in and the success in that whatever area they're in. You know what I mean? Obviously, like of Bellator, for talking, normally Bellator, like they're very heavy-handed down in Dublin and whatever else. Because then that's the crowds in Dublin.
Of course.
And they're building that up. And again, Bellator Dublin is a fantastic event. You know what I mean? And great level fighters. I just think that they've obviously positioned themselves where they weren't open to the other clubs, and that's probably the only thing they've done wrong. Not opening up the other clubs. It's not about giving certain clubs opportunities. It's 100%, but almost segregating it off that this is the only people allowed, where you go to yourself. Well, even in Dublin, not even about us, even in Dublin, there's other guys there maybe who could get them opportunities and maybe deserving of them opportunities. But again, like that's people probably over in the States making them decisions and wanting to put bums on seats. You know what I mean? Their agenda is just get a good crowd there and that's it. You know what I mean? But about corruption, I don't think there's much corruption. I think it's just about promoters meeting their own needs. You know what I mean? So if the what I call if he's a high level fighter, but he's more of a follower and he's going to sell a lot more tickets, then he's going to be on the show probably first before he is, even though he's more deserving. Which it's hard because that's the hat you have to wear when a promoter. You know what I mean? Me as a coach and a promoter, I can see both sides because like I know like it sounds mad. Like years ago, we run the first ever outside show in Ireland, and took a big risk on it in the middle of COVID or the end of COVID. So a lot of restrictions put in place, COVID tests. A lot of fundamentals. People weren't there to be in the same room together. Had to hire like the whole dynamics. It was hard, and certain individuals. I remember waking up in the middle of the night, checking Ticketmaster every night. How many ticket sales? And I need to sell another 900 tickets.
That's the worst feeling.
You know what I mean? Like if the break even, I'm going to lose my house. Had to remortgage my mum's house to get over the line. And then my fighters, and Todd's talking about my fighters, were selling. I'm going, how many tickets do you want for the fights? I mean, I'm right. No, I'm not selling my tickets. I'm going, I have put my mum's house on the line. They give you a platform. And you're not even going to try and push it. I don't care if you sell whatever tickets, but even try. Even try. It's a two-way relationship.
Shut the door,
It's a two-way relationship. So, like, and I remember, and like, them boys there, they'll never fight in cage conflict. And I mean, they'll fight in any other show because for me, it really hurt me. Where I was going to myself, I have give you and done everything to try and make this platform available for you as well. At least you can try and sell a few tickets. You know what I mean? To have that total disregard for my personal circumstances. You know what I mean? That really hurt, and I really kind of blackballed a few of my guys from my show. You know what I mean? Because I was like, you don't really care about what my consequences are at the end of the day. But then again, I have to pay bills. So I see a lot of the bigger shows coming in. They're taking on the free arena. They're taking all these big overheads. They have to, the very first thing to do is try and cut their costs and cover their costs. If that means then that if he's going to sell 200 tickets, then it comes with the territory. Like, no, it does come with the territory. That is, but I would like to have been opened up, you know what I mean, and had conversations to have more fighters on the shows. I definitely would have, and I think it definitely would have been people that add to the show. You know what I mean? But I wouldn't like hold anything against anybody who had that, because that's just it's the nature of the sport.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And you do get it for it. Like, everyone's looking for their next cash cow.
And I've had it even on the fitness level too. Like, you know what I mean? I remember like years ago, and the guy I used to own the gym with, like, you know what I mean, like, not a real good individual at all, like, was really money mad, was in the game for the wrong reasons. And what I called like, he was browbeating me over like kind of the level of quality of training, because we had such a big following in the circuit. Saying, well, how can I kind of tell people to fire up their glutes when there's 60 people in the class? I haven't got time to stand over somebody and get a band on them and tell them to
make sure they're active,
release the hip flexors. You know what I mean? That's, you do that on that, and you're paying for a service. It's obviously a lot less than a personal training session.
Of course.
It comes with a territory, and he was telling me, but this coach and where I am, and he does this and does that, and I'm not dead on. But many people would actually listen to him in a class, and I went, 6 or 8 people, and I went, yeah, and we'll be closing a week. They'll be closing a week. So you have to have that fine tune to cover your overheads, and that goes in every nature, whether it be in terms of stealth or whether in terms of like the fight project. Like, if you're standing there and you're sitting there and you're having to add money out of your own personal pocket to keep your place open or run your next show, after a while you'll go on it again.
100%.
So I totally understand the likes of all the big shows coming to Dublin or coming wherever else in Ireland and targeting, headhunting certain clubs and individuals, because they have to do it. It's a business. It's a business.
It really is. How much do you take home with you? Like, how much do you like take the stress of a business home? Like, or do you find, I know the answer to this anyway, but it's a preloaded one. It's like, it doesn't stop with you at 9 o'clock when you go home. Like, it's always on your mind, isn't that right?
Always. Like, when like, that's why me and Pat are so successful when we're doing, because we absolutely live it. Like, I mean, we live it. Like, you know yourself when talking about recently. Like, we have group chats with a lot of individual fighters. We'll have on opponents and opportunities. We'll break down the fights. If any fights coming up, we'll put in stuff and strategies. What I did this week, with a lot of individual care, but also when it goes home, like me and Pop must message only like 100 times a day. Like, I walk with those in the morning, voice note him 10 times. He'd voice note me about, oh, here, Taylor was up last night. He hurt his ankle. Just let you know what, you know what I mean? All we things to get there.
Yeah.
But I'd be watching fight. I absolutely love the sport. I'm very lucky that my partner loves the sport too. And we sit down our weekends or Happy Days, Cage Warriors on last week. And Happy Days, Sunday night, we've got the UFC on. We sit down and have maybe 1 or 2 drinks, and absolutely love the sport because I just so enthusiastic about it, like a child. And that rubs off because I see stuff and I grow with it, or I see stuff that I do, or maybe a variety of something of what I've done and I've added to it. So we're growing on past the exact same on the wrestling and the grappling terms. That he just, like, he thrives on it and he loves it. Where I think a lot of coaches, it's a job and they go home, they switch off and that's it, which is fair enough. But for me, that'll get you to a certain level. To me, you have to live it, you have to love it. You know what I mean? You have to, it has to be your life. It's too important. It's your life. You've invested this. If you come home and say, here, listen, did you watch the guy I was fighting? And I go, nah, man, I haven't seen him. I'm letting you do it. You know what I mean?
Totally.
I'm letting you do it.
Yeah, like you said, like, if you're obsessed, we're obsessed.
Yeah,
you know?
like we call all the time, and with all of us, like, I remember like Joe McCogan when he's fighting Aggie Sadari. You know what I mean? I was sitting on a Saturday night at 10 o'clock, a few drinks in me, and watching videos, digging up how I could dig up, going into all like kind of like a web of how I can get videos in this guy and to try and get an edge for my fighter. Like, Joe's in the house, you know what I mean? Probably playing Connect 4, you know what I mean? He didn't give a fuck, but I'm in the house watching videos. What I call going why he does certain techniques, why does he kick and land forward and then punch? That's not a normal traditional movement.
You actually found videos of Aggie Sadari when he was a kid, basically, isn't that right?
Doing karate competitions at Irish MMA. And I was going, that's why this works. And then we built a strategy up, and then I implemented with Joe over 10 weeks. And I seen the fight, it was perfect. And I mean, I seen when he fought Jack Grant, when he fought at Dasme, what was the fight was, the way the fights were playing out. And I went, so if I can get you to be better at that fight, then he's going to force to wrestle you. And then when he wrestles, you'll never take it in the head. And then it's just going to be rinse and repeat until he gives up, and then he'll eventually get a hold of a submission. You know what I mean? Because he'll have no other choice. And like, if you've seen that fight, like, it was nice, it's going to be a kicking match. So it's all about the lights and switching the lights. So whatever he does, you're on it straight away, no matter if he's left, southpaw, orthodox, you're controlling the shots, controlling the stance. And eventually he gets so frustrated, he's going to try and run in and rush in. And that's exactly the way the fight played out. But it's not like, I mean, it's about digging in. I just didn't turn up on the night of Cage Warriors and go, listen, this is, you know what I mean, this is like, well, what's he going to do? I don't know, mate. Hey, I'll warm you up in the pads and stick you out. You know, my job is done 10 weeks earlier. You know what I mean, right? It's like running a marathon. You can't turn up in a marathon and expect to run 26 miles. You got to put all the effort in, the hard work, the hard lifting in.
It's not on the marathon day, like.
No, it's not the marathon day, no.
How does it feel like? How do you ride the pressure in the corner? Like, are you nervous? How do you feel it?
I love it. I kind of like, it's almost, I'm invested in it, so I'm kind of, don't see myself within myself. You know what I mean? What I call like kind of something carried away. I'm invested in people, and like you see now, I've lost my voice and done all 19 corners. Some last week, 17 corners last week, or 19 guys. I had no voice all last week. You know what I mean? Taking a week off work because you're so passionate. You want it for lemons so much, and you see the personal. Everyone has their own personal battles, or maybe somebody's coming out of a bad relationship, while they've lost their job, while they've moved up to Belfast just to train, while they've they suffer depression, or they were bullied, or everyone's got their own individual. So everybody's got a story. You know what I mean? And I see that because I'm their coach. But maybe others don't see it. You know what I mean? And I have a lot of personal, private conversations with fighters after the fights, and I'm proud of them all, like, obviously. But it does have like almost a physical effect on me, because it mentally really drains me because I'm so invested in them. You know what I mean? I get carried away. I mean, like Darren Keys and Paul. One sure I jumped up and down and the camera went upside down, and I was wearing a pair of shorts, and maybe got a wee bit of excited there. I mean, I nearly fell out of it. So I got a wee bit of a jip over it. You know what I mean? But no, because I'm so excited. You know what I mean? But it's so good. Like there's emotional times where when the game and Joe won the bell against Irish Derby, Dan Hardy said afterwards so emotional because it was COVID, there was no crowd. You got to feel what we felt, you know what I mean? And it's like it's so good to feel that like, you know what it was for. And I remember Joe cried on occasion and put the belt up and he says, "This one's for you, Liam." And he says, and he actually made her, because it was her second Cage Warriors title, he says, "This one is for you, and I owe you everything unlike the last one, and I appreciate it." And that meant, like, I never cried in the cage because you knew it was genuine.
Yeah.
Know what I mean? So it is. And then, like, obviously, when you know when you're getting with certain fighters, with Joe, you know he was either up for it, he wasn't up for it. It's taught me a lot as an individual. Then know when you offer people fights, what their attitude is straight away, you know what I mean? And then you see Paul, like, you know, like Paul, like, he's always up for a fight. Yeah, and you know when you're going out and you're going to get a 10-minute entrance, you don't have to be like something like Israel, you know what I mean? You're doing learn dance moves, like, you know what I mean? Dance with stars. I was.
Here, Paul asked you would do it.
Yeah, I would do it. I'm a friendly.
He'll
tell you I'm a friendly. He tells me to come out. He told me to stick a dog chain on and walk right how I would do it.
You feel all for it, probably your idea. It's funny because, like, I was even talking to James about this, like, you are a joker and, like, you have that role of being, like, you're a funny person, like, but you also have, like, an extreme seriousness and dealing with, like, so many fighters, like, vulnerabilities before a fight and after a fight. Like, how do you, like, channel, like, that? Because, like, we can be having, like, my pad sessions with you, like, you'll know yourself, like, you're laughing 75% of the time, like we both are, but then we can have the most serious conversation, like, instantly. Like, that's a good skill alone.
Well, actually, somebody actually said to me the other week, how did you learn to kind of be that type of way and as a person? I mean, like, kind of not like be like kind of just say what you say, even though like Wednesday class I actually text a couple of text Corey McLaren going, "You should have told me, I was losing my head there. Stop saying that." You know what I mean? No, he was laughing his head off and he was like, you lost the plot in the class there, because I don't really care what people think about me. And I actually went back to doing the door. It sounds strange as it is when you're telling people to get out there in the night, "Come on folks, drink up and all, and have a bit of banter." People, you're loud and you're boisterous and you're playful, and it's a bit of crack, you know what I mean? So I found that's probably made me be able to control an audience. And then ultimately, we will personalise. I don't care what I really think. If I can't, I don't want the team self-serious. Obviously, there's a seriousness of it. Like, I can switch like that. You know what I mean?
Of course.
And I do switch like that sometimes, but also it has to be fun. But if you can't enjoy it, what's the point? The whole journey, if it's not fun, like we walk in the changing rooms, you've seen the videos on our Instagram about our changing rooms. Our changing rooms are different than our changing rooms. It's all fun. It's a game. It's a sport. Enjoy it. It's not a life and death scenario.
No.
Nobody's gonna, you know what I mean? Like, it's nothing changes the end of it. If you win, happy days. If you lose, then what? There's nothing different. I don't think any lessy, you know what I mean, or anything at all. So it means nothing. What I call sore is a serious thought, but you gotta enjoy the process and you have to enjoy the training, or else you won't sustain it. You won't stick the journey. You walk in there and certain, like, all levels of shows, and it's like a morgue. You walk in there, nobody wants to look at each other. You stick the music on, have a bit of crack and dance about and a bit of joking and slag people and a bit of banter, and people feel at ease. And then next thing you know, your ability is your ability. No, that's not going to change anything. If I'm fighting such and such and he's 2 rooms up, me being hungry and, know what I mean? No, it's not going to change anything. The dynamics of a fight, like. Know what I mean? We will enjoy the process.
It's funny, it's like, even like being there for like Paul and Paddy in that last one, it's like you seen how much people were drawn to that energy. Like, people were like, not that these guys are mad, but like, them guys are happy to be here, they're buzzing. Like, Paul's running about screaming, like, with his music on, overran the speaker, and like everybody's just obsessed with watching that. Like, it tells you you're doing something right, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's it, exactly. And you build that level of confidence on terms of, obviously it comes from a lot of hard work. I mean, you can't do it and then go out and get your pan knocked in. Like, you have to have confidence to back it up too, like, or else all the rest of the clubs go, they're fucking fire clowns.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? But I think it all's in that one effect, like a domino effect. If you think your level of expertise, is good and you're delivering it, and the individual is there, is processing it, then it's just a matter of, then we own this place. What do these guys got on us that we can't do? And I mean, there's nobody better. And we had this conversation over in the UFC, where I said to you, I'm not here as starstruck and asking people for autographs or photos. I'm not asking anyone ever, because I don't want to feel that they're better than me, or they're better than you. We are there because we deserve to be there. No, we're here to own the place, and it goes from any show to any level. There's no coach that I look at and go to myself, they're better than me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And if fighters should have that same thing.
Totally.
I respect people and they can always have the help, but what they're bringing to the table is going to be better than I can bring, no?
Mm-hmm.
That's why we don't have no seminars in our gym. I had this conversation earlier on. Why would I have people come to my gym and show people stuff where I have coaches who can above and beyond show the exact same stuff?
Fact.
So, what I mean, so I love it.
What's a quote you would live by? Like, what's like if you were to wrap everything you've done, like with the gym, yourself, fighters, family, dogs, what would your like motto or ethos for life be?
Resilience. Just have resilience, yeah. Have resilience when you believe in something enough, no matter what circumstances come at you, no matter what life's going through circumstances that you're going through hard times, easier times. You're going to have individuals who support you and don't support you, you know what I mean? So it's almost like kind of like a knock-on effect where like we have also, we're talking about at the very start of it, like, you know, people who were pulling their own ways, wrong energy. Try and get the people who believe and want to be part of your journey.
Mm-hmm.
People like that are very rare to come by. And when they do come along, they attach them to your process. You know what I mean? I'm very lucky now that I have people in every aspect. You know what I mean? Oh, obviously the gym and all, and the FAI, the fight team, the coaching, but also my partner as well. Like, you know what I mean? If I had that partner when I was fighting, you know what I mean? I used to lie about stuff just to get training, you know what I mean? Get changed in my mum's house, where I know that my partner and I is in the process would help me. If I said I was going to, he told me I had to go to Australia for 3 weeks, he would go, yes, no problem.
Yeah, of course.
I look after the kids and after that. I would never have had that.
Yeah, totally different, isn't it?
It's totally different. So, and that's one aspect of your personal life, and then you go into your coaching, and then your training partners,
mm-hmm.
and then so anybody who believes in your process and wants it for you, attach them to you and keep holding.
Yeah, it's magic.
Resilience. Resilience.
It's such a good word, like, and it's like so deep too, but it's like it makes a lot of sense. It's actually really simple though. 5 years from now, what will Fight Academy Ireland be?
Well, probably the only thing is 5 years from now we'll probably be talking about Pat McAllister in front of the papers and all his stories coming out and all these you living. You know what I mean? Every day we're going to see Pat McAllister on Instagram. He's on the boat with gold watches and Ferraris and driving up the Las Vegas Strip. And that's not 5 years. That's probably next year. Knowing that the guy he's got. No, I truly believe in 5 years that what I call will be the pinnacle of the sport. Mm-hmm. And I see like the clubs now who have where they were 5 years ago, like Israel's club and Novel Colossus club and all. I see us being like that.
100%.
I think we have a set of individuals with an army behind an army behind an army, and I feel that we have got everything in place that we're gonna, once we get to that top tier, that people will be going to be doing. We'll be on these shows, in these big famous shows, 100%. On these presenters. You're not a famous presenter, you are a famous presenter. All right, but that people will be going, like, they should make an app for what processes and what stuff that they're teaching their guys. Yeah. Like, we already know it's next level, like, and we believe in our abilities. But I feel that nobody appreciates it until you actually make it. Mm-hmm. You can be the best of the best, but they're going to go, but who fights for you or what level you're at? Like, we're obviously 4 Cage Warriors World Champions, but I feel that there's another level to go up. Mm-hmm. And I actually said this many years ago before COVID hit. Me and Pat were going to go to like a big famous gym in America, and I was going to pay for me and him to go and do a month in America. And it was all emails back and forth, we're about to go, and then COVID hit. And I said to him, I says, when we were here, the will end up taking all these. Mm-hmm. I says, and this at the time that UFC champions, I was going, we're going to take all these because I know that I am better than anybody they have in their coach, mm-hmm. and I know you're better than anyone they have. Mm-hmm. I says, but because we haven't got the personnel to justify our belief, then it doesn't materialise. Yeah. But when it does start materialising, then you'll get the rewards and going, fuck me, who's his strength coach? Or who's his wrestling coach? Or who's his grappling coach? Mm-hmm. And until you get that legitimacy, then I think you're always like kind of pushing your own self-belief. Yeah, it becomes a blueprint once you have a few people do it. It's like, that old thing, it's like when your mum told you to do something, you never listened, but when someone else told you who were a better or a bigger person, you listen straight away. Yeah. So, and I just see us in 5 years being a penalty of a sport, you know what I mean? So it is, and maybe having to do TV interviews and news interviews about Rhys McKee's drug problem and his gambling problem. He's gambling on horses all day, every day. Rebecca coming to me. He has 16 kids.
Rebecca, and you'll be calling that intervention. With some fan questions for you, would you believe it?
Okay, happy days.
Who do you think they're from? Mr. Joe McColgan. I'll give you some questions. So, question 1. There's one at the end, but we'll leave that to the end because it might need cut out. But so
right, okay.
The first one is the most intense fight you've ever cornered.
Most intense fight. It was Joe against Kieran Lister. It was for a number of reasons. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because we put a real good training camp in. Joe was just off the Mason Jones loss, and again, with all as individually, it wasn't the right fight for him. I should have let him down as a coach the opportunity. Again, we're talking about the promotions giving the opportunities, and sometimes you take it for the wrong reasons. That was one for the wrong reason we took, and we learned from it, and eventually we got the belt because we learned from it. But that time there, and we're talking about having a structure of support behind you, like he lost that, and that was him done, retired after, didn't want to be here, and only had that home support and motivation that he got back into it to make a second run for it, because he knew he had more left in the tank, and so much rated on it because obviously he was so invested in Joe as a person, too, as a friend, that it was a make or break. I knew that a win wasn't on the agenda, it was a career was on the line. If he wanted, I knew he had the talent to be a world champion, but if he lost, it was done. You know what I mean? And he was a big underdog.
Yeah.
So he was, you know what I mean? And I had a couple of them to quit on him. So
that's a real pressure.
That was the real pressure.
And I would say you definitely let him know as well.
Yeah, no, so he didn't. But I remember ringing my partner and going, I can't believe Joe's 3-1 to beat Ken Lester. Joe has put such a training camp in, the people not see what I see in Joe. And, you know what I mean? And I bet him. So, but it was his career, because I knew what he invested from the sport from the day that had all came to that point where it could be a world champion or he could be house dad, which he is now.
Joe's, you know what, one thing about Joe, he's one of the good guys, isn't he? Like even his energy down in Dublin was like, we basically wound him up for 3 days, but like that's who Joe is, isn't he?
Joe's like a lad. He is the captain really of the team, like, you know what I mean? And I'll always be a part of the team. He's moving back closer to Belfast to be obviously working all, but just especially be running the gym, but more be great. But with Joe, like Joe individually, you couldn't beat him. Like, you see that he came through in his life too to get to where he was, and he's such a likeable person, and he's such a serious person too. So he's a wind up. You know what I mean? Like, he's like, him and Pat are like fun husband and wife. You know what I mean? It's so good to have that energy around. Like, and but he's such a brain behind it too. Like, you know what I mean?
He's smart. Like, he's smart and clued in, and he's one of them people. He's definitely not scared to tell his opinion. I remember when I fought John Redmond at the start, and Joe and Pat were there, and like I didn't really know Pat. I would have known Joe a wee bit, but like I remember we must have been sent up to 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning before the fight, like the night before, and just increases of laughter the same way they are now. Like, just Joe's a good guy. What was Joe's next question? The hardest fight you've ever cornered?
The hardest fight? The hardest fight in terms of me as a coach, knowing there was an ultimate conflict back maybe 13 years ago when I knew a guy was in there and he shouldn't be in there. And I was glad that he got beat and wasn't hurt.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And I went, it's that like, see, all these guys now have confidence to say people, you're either fighting, you're not fighting, you're ready, you're not ready. But then I was only starting my career, I was still fighting, but still a coach too. And the guy was in there, and I was just happy that he wasn't hurt. And I remember feeling that emptiness after the fight, going, I shouldn't feel like that in the corner.
Yeah.
I shouldn't go in there and hope someone doesn't get hurt. I'm not doing my job. You know what I mean? So that stuck by me, and still this day I would never go into somebody's corner feeling they're not capable.
That's probably why your beliefs are so strong to the way they are now. His second last question, his last serious question, who's the hardest leg kicker? Or who's ever hit you the hardest leg kick? Let's see. Who has the hardest leg kicks? That's such like a Joe question. Like a 8-year-old Joe was asked who has the hardest kicks.
Am I doing this interview with Joe McCogan on it? Is he sitting in
I
the
know.
house?
He's
a pair of
asked
brown
for-
wire phones. That's some cash like.
He's live.
Send you questions.
He's actually live on cam here.
I would love to get him on camera now because 100% he's the type of person, if you wearing a shirt and tie up and you stand up, he's wearing a pair of boxers and flip flops. You know what I mean? I swear to God, this is the type of guy sitting there sending away questions. But the hardest leg kicker, it's hard because you almost expect certain stuff to go like kind of like you go like I'm expecting a hard kick because the way you are, the frame you are, you know what I mean? And then there's guys there who you don't expect it of and you go, fuck, yeah, it's harder, you know what I mean, than the 40 would have hit. You know what I mean? Like just right up there now, and even Dean mentioned about Corey McLaughlin, he hits hard, but they all like to me that my objective is to get them hitting hard.
Yeah, of course.
So it is so like to me, I try and get them that hard. To me, there is no.
Where Joe tries to avoid the people that hit hard.
I know. So like I embrace it. Like Paul always says, when I'm getting my leg kicked on me, I must go through about 4 or 5 different leg pads a year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And my legs are bruised and whatever because you take them on the guys. And they all can kick hard. And he goes, you love it. And all my legs are bruised and I can't walk for a couple of days and all. But it's true because that's my job. My job is to kick hard. So the hardest leg kicker, I don't know because if it was with somebody later, then I would expect it. You know what I mean? Where I know with you, I'm kind of almost bracing myself for a harder kick. But I remember even the other day just taking like of Paddy McCrory and he was kicking and I was kneeing. And I remember going, fuck, that hard to realise he's put on 10 kilo with them marshmallow squares I can't. So was the feeling the weight behind him.
Big man's 100 kilo.
100 kilo.
100 kilo
and
plus.
growing, he's like a fucking actual bully.
He's
The praise of fucking RSPC haven't pulled him.
It's 100 kilo plus. I'm only halfway through my list, but what a pleasure was to have a chat. Like this is another Joe thinks he's getting a part 2. He's not. You will get a part 2. Unreal. And thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.